Hello everybody, welcome back to another video, and in today's video we are going to be doing an update to Baltimore Thurgood International Airport. We have quite a few new models in today's update, including this Maryland 1 aircraft, and to celebrate the addition of this Maryland 1 aircraft for this update, I've decided that all of the Southwest aircraft in today's update are going to be some of the state liveries, not all of the ones I have. I have 6 in total in today's update, and they're essentially the 6 of my favorite state liveries. As well as this, with a few exceptions, I do also have each of the state liveries arriving in from and then heading out to the state that their aircraft represents. However, for this one that we're starting out with, the Maryland 1 737-700, as Baltimore is the only destination that Southwest serve in Maryland, I can't really have this one heading out to another destination in Maryland. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this aircraft operate a realistic route that I saw on the day this video is being recorded. So in real life, this exact aircraft flew in from Rochester, so he's arriving in from Rochester, and then he's going to be heading out to Boston. And as I say, that is a realistic route for this particular aircraft. Then next up, following on from that, here we have this Southwest Airlines 737-700 in the Lone Star livery, which represents Texas, of course. So he's just arrived in from Austin, and he's going to be heading out to San Antonio. Then next up, here we have this Southwest Airlines 737-700 in the California 1 color scheme. While a lot of the California destinations out of Baltimore are usually operated on the 737-800s and the 737 MAX 8s, I am going to be sending this 737-700 out to a Californian destination just because this is the California 1 aircraft. So this aircraft has just arrived in from Los Angeles and is going to be heading out to San Diego. Then next up, we have a state which has no shortage of Southwest destinations. We have the Southwest Airlines 737-700 in the Florida 1 color scheme. He's just arrived in from Jacksonville and he's going to be heading out to Tampa later on today. Then next up here we have this Southwest Airlines 737-700 in the Tennessee 1 color scheme. Southwest only have one destination in Tennessee, and that is Nashville. So this aircraft has just arrived in from Nashville and he's going to be heading out to Greenville, which is one state over from Tennessee, that's in South Carolina. So he's just arrived in from Nashville and he's going to be heading out to Greenville. Then next up, finally for Southwest, here we have the Southwest 737-700 in the Louisiana 1 color scheme. Again, similar to the last aircraft, Southwest only have one destination from Baltimore in Louisiana, and that is New Orleans. So this aircraft has just arrived in from New Orleans and he's going to be heading out to Birmingham, which is of course in Alabama, which is the next state over from Louisiana. Then next up, moving over to the second terminal, here we have an American Embraer 175. He's going to be heading out to New York JFK today. Then next up here we have this Alaska Education Change the World livery 737-900ER. He's going to be heading out to Seattle today. Then next up here, just pushing back, here we have this United Airbus A320. He's going to be heading out to Denver today. Then next up we have another new model. This is the Delta Connection CRJ 700. He's going to be heading out to New York JFK. Delta usually use the CRJ 900 on this route, but as you know, I do not have a Delta CRJ 900, so for today we're going to be using the CRJ 700 instead. And then following on from that, we have another Delta aircraft. Here we have the Delta Airbus A319. He's going to be heading out to Detroit today. Moving over to the Spirit Gate, here we have a Spirit Airbus A320neo. He's arrived in from Minneapolis and he's going to be heading out to Denver. Then next up here we have this Spirit Airbus A321. He's arrived in from Cancun, Mexico, and he's going to be heading out to Fort Lauderdale. Then over here at the cargo gates, here we have a DHL Boeing 757-200. He's going to be heading out to Cincinnati. And then finally here for today's update, we have a FedEx Boeing 757-200 heading out to Harrisburg. And just like that, that does conclude today's update of Baltimore Thurgood International Airport. But despite that, we have a fair amount to go through in regards to new routes and new airlines and changes in operations here at Baltimore. One airline you probably noticed that wasn't in today's update is the British Airways 787. Now, British Airways resumed service to Baltimore after the pandemic in December of 2021. However, they have now stopped flying to Baltimore again, but they will resume on May 2nd. The reason for this is, if you don't know, British Airways are having a really tough time problem with staff shortages. They have a bunch of cancellations going all the way up to June of this year just because British Airways don't have the staff to operate all of their flights at the moment. So a lot of the lower demand routes like Baltimore have been temporarily cut. But luckily the British Airways Baltimore flight will be resuming service on May 2nd. As well as this, Baltimore has a new airline now. Play, the low-cost Icelandic airline, has begun service to Baltimore. They begun the Keflavik to Baltimore service a couple weeks ago now, and it's a pretty big deal because not only is it the airline's first flight to Baltimore, but their first flight to the entire continent of North America. Play is structured a lot like WOW Air, and I believe a lot of the facilities that were involved in, of course, the WOW Air operations were transferred over to Play, and so they are forming that transatlantic connection through Iceland slowly. I believe they have a bunch of other North American destinations that will be starting up, as well as a bunch of other European destinations as well. They've been operating quite a few flights to various destinations around Europe like Paris and Copenhagen for quite a while. However, it's taken them quite a long time to start that North American connection. In fact, a few months ago I was in Keflavik and I got to see one of the Play Airbus A321neos that will be operating the service into Baltimore, so that was pretty cool. And then on top of that, we also have a bunch of other airlines starting or restarting service into Baltimore. So on May 13th, Icelandair will also be restarting service into Baltimore alongside Play. Then on May 26th, Velo will be starting service to New Haven in Connecticut. Then on June 4th, Condor will be restarting their seasonal service after a 3-year break to Frankfurt in Germany. And then finally on July 8th, JetBlue will be restarting their service to Boston. So yeah, a lot to look forward to over the next couple of months in regards to Baltimore. So yeah, that does conclude today's update of Baltimore, as I said. So I want to thank you very much for watching today's video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.